Exodus chapter 37. And Bezaleel made the ark from out of incorruptible wood. 2 cubits and a half was the length, and 1 cubit and a half was the width, and 1 cubit and a half was the height. And he gilded it in pure gold, from inside and from outside. And he made for it a waved border, twisted of gold round about. And he cast for it 4 golden rings upon its 4 sides, 2 rings upon the one side, and 2 rings upon the second side. And he made bearing poles from out of incorruptible wood, and gilded them with gold. And he inserted the bearing poles into the rings on the sides of the ark, to lift the ark by them. And he made the atonement seat lid of pure gold. 2 cubits and a half was the length, and 1 cubit and a half was the width. And he made 2 cherubim golden wrought, and he put them at both of the sides of the atonement seat, 1 cherub from out of this side, and 1 cherub from out of the second side of the atonement seat. And thus he made the 2 cherubim upon the 2 sides of it. And the 2 cherubim were stretching out the wings above, overshadowing with their wings over the atonement seat, and their faces to one another. To the atonement seat were the faces of the cherubim. And he made the table from out of incorruptible wood. 2 cubits was the width, and 1 cubit the breadth, and 1 cubit and a half the height. And he gilded it in pure gold. And he made for it a twisted golden waved border round about. And he made for it a rim, a palm's width round about. And he made a twisted waved border round about the rim. And he cast for it 4 golden rings, and placed the 4 rings upon the 4 parts by its feet. By the waved border rim were the rings for a holder to the bearing poles, so as to lift the table. And he made the bearing poles from out of incorruptible wood, and gilded them with gold, so as to lift the table. And he made the utensils of the table, both its saucers, and the incense pans, and the cups, and the libation bowls, in which the priest will offer libations in them, of pure gold. And he made the lampstand from out of pure gold. Being a turned piece he made the lampstand, its stem, and the branches, and the basins, and the knobs, and the lilies were of it. And 6 branches were going forth sideways, 3 branches of the lampstand from out of its one side, and 3 branches of the lampstand from out of the second side. And 3 basins being shaped nut-like were on the one branch, with a knob and lily. And 3 basins being shaped nut-like on the one branch, with a knob and a lily, thus to the 6 branches going forth from out of the lampstand. And on the lampstand were 4 basins being shaped nut-like to the one branch, with the knobs and its lilies. The knob under the 2 branches of it, and a knob under the 2 branches of it, thus to the 6 branches going forth from out of the lampstand. And the branches and the knobs of it were entirely turned from out of one piece of pure gold. And he made its 7 lamps and its tongs, and their oil funnels of pure gold. With a talent of pure gold he made all its items. And he made an altar of incense from out of incorruptible wood. 1 cubit was the length of it, and 1 cubit was the breadth of it, 4-cornered, and 2 cubits was the height of it. Of it were its horns, and he gilded it with pure gold, its grate, and its walls, and its horns. And he made for it a twisted gold rim round about. And 2 rings of pure gold he made for it, under its twisted rim, for its 2 corners, on its 2 sides, for holders for the bearing poles to lift it by them. And he made the bars from out of incorruptible wood, and gilded them with gold. And he prepared the oil of the anointing, the holy, and the composition of the incense, a pure work of a perfumer.